Well, I was going to start Juan Next Door, but, but that's John Next Door, of course, is the one-day special 8 p.m. here at the craft store. And, of course, John Next Door, our John Logwood, how are you doing?
I'm very good. How are you, Miss Paola, Miss P?
You know, I'm really excited. Always I love when I work with you, because we were talking about how the love of history, a love of art, and I always think that you can see a little bit of that, including of some of the dies that are a little bit Art Deco. I see them as.
Yes, I tend to. I didn't realise it till we were talking before, but I watch an awful lot of history shows. Anyone who knows me knows I'm really into very boring facts. And I love museums and history and things like that. And you said, yeah, and I can see it now that there's definitely some influences from previous centuries. And it's funny you say that, because there's a collection coming, I think, at the end of June. Okay. That's just around the corner, that's based very historically. Ooh, I've actually done some proper research as well.
Wow, well, excited. But one of the things that you always do is to bring things that, collections that work with previous collections and with future collections. So that's exciting news as well, of course.
Yes, to me, it's got to. I don't like the idea of a standalone project. I don't like, when I was crafting and shopping at home and just doing it for me, I didn't like to buy a product that did one thing and then it went put away. So the whole range to me has got to be about what I do now has got to work with what you've already got, so you get it back out of the cupboard and get your money's worth out of it, and that it's future proof and it's going to work with, I know what's coming. So measurements, I know Sam said if they ever did a stamp set of like a caricature of me, you know, like Leone says favourite, mine would sound it mathematically correct, because he says I say that all the time and I'm insistent on it.
Absolutely, mathematically correct, and measurements that are right. Now, the one-day special, we really want to mention, because there is a complete collection. Now, the one-day special is at the bottom of the screen, and of course, is the 3 bottom dies in here. So for everyone, so you can see here that you have got the special birthday, brother, sister, and so on. Then you have the retirement, graduation, good luck, and of course, your start. These 3 are the one-day special details, bottom of the screen. 487098 is your item number. However, everyone is going for the complete collection, which over 40% of the complete collection has gone. And of course, you are getting the one-day special included, and also you are getting the tartan, and of course, you are getting, oh, I need to see it written, this one, because Southey.
Oh,
I don't know if I pronounce it.
Based on an area of Sheffield called Southey Green.
Oh, I can see there, Southey.
Some people might pronounce it as Southey, but Chris, the director, and I pronounce it Southey.
And he's from Sheffield as well. So that no, because I know somebody who's called Angela Southey, and she pronounces Southey.
Yeah, I think a lot of the place names around the country actually did turn out to be. Actually be people's surnames. I know on my drive down, you know, I've already done Oakham and Stamford, and I've done Oundle and Woodford and those. But on the way down, I noticed a little village called Tuxford. Ooh. And I worked years ago with a guy called Mike Tuxford, so they ping in your head like that. So these are, at the moment, it's all around Sheffield, sorry.
Well, you know, I've never been to Sheffield, but I heard great things.
There's some beautiful areas.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, now, of course, if you want to go for the complete collection, you are getting to get 51 individual dies, and you are saving £5. They are worth, well, basically, it works out less than £1 per die. So let's have a look at the dice. Now, the saving is actually wrong, you are saving more than that, because of course the one-day special has a saving that carries forward, and you have got an additional saving. Hence, if you are a Freedom member, your saving is £13.60. That's your saving as a Freedom member, because of course the one-day special has those, you know, savings that carry forward. Shall we have a look at the dice itself? Mathematically correct, of course.
They are, yes, at 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, and 5 inch dies. And you get a 1 inch by 3 inch strip, which is perfect for a lot of the actual sentiments to go on. And they've all got circles punched out around the outside, so they're not plain. They're sort of very, almost I would say Regency, if we're going to go historical.
Oh, yeah.
You've got that precise dots punched out all the way around. So it's got a very Regency look to it.
They do. I love that. And of course, then we have, of course, the beautiful Tartan. It was one of my favorite authors is a Regency author.
Jane Austen?
Obviously.
Yes, of course.
Good.
I now want to talk about have you read Pemberley and things like that.
Of course I have read them all. In English as well.
Yes, I couldn't read them in Spanish. The Tartan die, this is version 3. Because I did 2 different versions that didn't work, so this was the 3rd one, and I just wanted, it's almost clean and simple, but you can do it in so many different ways. I mean, I think you've got the card there that I did. Well, I tossed it in. I nearly got away with that. Poor Paula was looking for a sample with the tartan on, but this is the card I did at the launch. But you can see there how it just works in those ice cream colours, and that looks as if it's paper pieced and it's not. It's just, there's no weaving in that, there's no complex, it's just coloured strips stuck on from behind and then squares on top. So you can really, really play with that and make it completely different.
I love that. And of course this is kind of almost genderless and ageless. You can use it with so many...
You can use it, I think a lot of people, it looks beautiful in the pastel colours as a feminine card, but it works so well for masculine cards.
Absolutely.
And so many people say they struggle for masculine cards, and to me, I don't want to do products just for men or just for ladies. I want it to be for everybody. I mean, you change that into bright colours and it's perfect for a kid.
I mean, I will show more samples of this particular light. It's just that they are on the other side and I'm just like trying to reach them. It would be a little bit... But we will have a look at the other dies that you are getting, of course, in the complete collection. Now, these all coordinate with collections that came up in the past, right?
They did, yes. So in September, I did the Stencil Sayings and Stencil Sentiments. So, and Christmas last year, I did the Christmas Stencil Sentiments,
yes,
which will be back for this Christmas.
Fabulous.
So these are designed to build on that. So I've not repeated, apart from birthday,
yeah,
and I think special might have repeated a couple of times. They're not repeats, so you'll find happy was in the original set. This time you've got belated and birthday in there. But the main thing is you've got your basic relatives. So you've got mother and mum. I did put mam in.
Yeah,
because I know that's really popular. I didn't get mom and all of the other iterations of it. But you've got father and dad and uncle. But I've added things like step, in-law, grand, so that you can have granddaughter, so that you can have grandson, grand cousin, you can have step-uncle, stepdad, stepmom.
Yeah.
So you can really mix them around to actually make a lot of different ones. And of course, so that you can put mum and dad, or gran and granddad.
Yeah.
And the and is quite important to me.
Of course, the ampersand, I love that.
Yeah, it's just so important.
And because, of course, you want to say, for instance, you know, happy anniversary, son, uncle and aunt, or sister and, I don't know, brother-in-law or something like that.
You can combine them to what you want. And then you've got this is the additions, which sort of puts... The reason I didn't drop these into different sets was I wanted people to have the ability to buy just the ones that appeal to them. So you need to have... So here you've got things like sorry, with, belated, best wishes, on the, lots of love, will combine with any of the sets. And of course, you're a star, which you will know because I'm sure I've texted that to you in the past.
Oh, yes, you are.
Because everyone knows that that's kind of my thing. I'm always saying to people, you're a star.
That was my exercise for
yeah, that'll keep you going for a month.
Right, now, what I love about though is that once you start mixing them up,
yeah, you really get something different. So here we've got lots of love on your special birthday, Grandma. Can you imagine trying to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stamps lined perfectly to do that? It's so much easier with dies.
And also the other thing is that once they die cut, then they are stencils.
They are stencils, you can stencil through them. Again, if you're not into the cards and the pretty cards, these will work in your journals.
Absolutely.
These will work as strips across your journals. They will work in your art journals, your books, your Miss P's.
Yeah.
You know, they will work in all of that. I know when we were working on these things, it was so scary that I was doing all of this stuff at the same time as you were doing your journals. And I'm thinking so many bits would tie together.
Absolutely, because I was thinking that kind of you could do like a family album journal.
Oh, you could, with pictures, sort of old pictures and things in there. That would look really nice. But again, you can see here with the Happy Birthday Stepdad, that to me, the red and blue, that suddenly doesn't look like tartan, it looks like a flag.
Yeah.
It's almost sort of, you know, it's a flag just by using squares behind it.
Absolutely.
Or here, using it again with the layers of the orangey colour and the red behind it. But simple, just for an uncle. But I wouldn't buy a whole collection to make something for my uncle.
Exactly, you wouldn't. Yeah. Right now, and that's the thing. You are getting the uncle, you are getting the grandma, you are getting, of course, the sister. You are getting all of those, of course. Now, if you wanted to go for just maybe the family, you know, kind of additions, or maybe the occasions of relatives, you can do that. They are all available individually. However, if you wanted the bottom row, that is the one-day special. Details bottom of the screen, £32.97. That is the price. Now, but everybody is going for the complete collection. Why? Because of course that saving is carried forward, so you have got a £13.60 saving, and of course that actually pays for the tartan die, which is worth £12.99. 974249 is your item number for this amazing complete collection. It's one of those ones that is an essential, I would say, because it's one of those ones that you are going to invest it now for a project now, but a project tomorrow and a project next year. Because if something we know is that we always need those special words to use to personalize. Now, we have a good news about a die set and a bundle that did sell out earlier, but is back on, of course, just 2 days extended. So it will be dispatched from Friday, the 21st May. You already found it. You already are checking out your baskets. Now, John, I see buttons, of course, but also I see this press cut die, the card candy. Now that is a cool one. It is, yeah.
This is a die that Jane designed a few years ago, and I had it, and it was so useful. And then you kind of forget about it. And Jane said, "What about the candy die?" when we were doing the Firth Park show. And I thought it's absolutely perfect. But I was talking to Jo Channon earlier, and she has sort of kitchen cupboards in her workspace where she crafts. And she has magnetic sheets on the doors.
Oh, yeah.
And the card candy die, she said she bought it a few years ago. She said it is always on her always use board, because the idea is, of course, we could, I don't know if we can still get card candy. I think it's finished.
We cannot, yeah, that's it.
I think the manufacturer stopped it, didn't they? Unfortunately.
Yep.
But what you can do now is, instead of having to buy pre-done colours, you can make your own card candy to match any backing paper you've got at home or any colour card you've got. Absolutely. And it just finishes a project.
And the other thing I was thinking as well is, like, you have here a very cool stencil then once you die cut it.
It is. It's a beautiful stencil of circles. And again, this is a great thing. I mean, I will be doing this tomorrow, but I'll be showing you with the artboard that we've got later on. Yeah. With the metal stencil board, it's now a lot easier to stencil through card stencils. Because you're not having to tape them down. Yeah. The magnet helps, so it's a lot easier stenciling through card stencils now. And
it makes sense. And of course, making the card candy, I was thinking as well, or if you make a background, say a mixed media with inks, or your beautiful, you know, craft artist inks and blending in, or you know, the icing sprays, and then you want to make those circles out as well.
Oh, what a perfect idea! Yeah, just cut it from that random piece. Exactly. They would look stunning. Everyone would be almost like it was marbled in effect.
Absolutely. So then they would be completely unique, and you couldn't do that before with card candy. So this is one of the reasons why you want the die. And of course, the other reason is that massive saving, £9.99 is what you are paying. £28.96 is of course the saving. 224440 is your item number. They are flying. If you want them, please make sure to check out your baskets. Now we have got the Periwinkle Die Set, and of course this is, once it's gone, it's gone. Half the stock has already gone for this. Now if you want to go for it, please make sure to check out your baskets. Now I believe you're going to be using...
I will be using this either in the first or the second demo.
Oh, absolutely, because that's what, absolutely...
That's why we've got it on the show. I actually had to sort of really ask Crafts2 and Peter, please, are there any periwinkles? Because I've used them in loads of my samples. Because it was only launched last month. And he was like, we've not got a lot left. I'll give you as much as we can on the show.
Well, they are glorious dies. £18.99 is your price. 930496 is your item number. And of course, you will find everything that we have seen, plus a lot more, on the website, thecraftstore.com. And there you can see the dies as well in there. You can see perfectly the elements in there. And of course, you can see gorgeous sample, gorgeous dies first as well. And of course, you will see, for instance, when you add your complete plate, you add maybe, oh, she likes the buttons. She likes to press buttons as well. $9.99 maybe that is for the desk vacuum. I absolutely adore it. It's so good, those bristles. She likes to use flexi, so I'm talking about Molly, of course. So that she's flexibine. And look at all these end of call offers. Now, of course, you have them there, and you can see everything in there. The jewel picker, a pair of them as well. Now, of course, these ones you don't pay P&P for those ones. They're add-ons, and of course you can add them on to your baskets without having to pay any extra. $5.99 is for those paper pads, 80 sheets in there, and of course 5-star reviews as well. Ooh, the Crafts 2 brush and pen storage case. I like mine. It's very, very good.
I actually bought more to store other things in because it's so useful.
Yeah,
I keep all my water brushes in one now.
That makes a lot of
sense.
sense.
So I can keep all the sizes and I can see exactly what I've got. I love it. So.
Absolutely. Right, what are you going to be
Right, so we made this in the last hour, and I did say, so I'll hold it. Oh, there we go, we can see it. I'm just moving all the time. So we made this in the last hour, and I said we'd put a sentiment on it, because at the moment it's probably a little bit dominant with the pink, but I want to use, and it's showing you 1 or 2 different ways that we can actually use the sentiments. So I'm going to actually go with sorry, but you could decide, and what I'm going to do is, I'll show you how to do it. You could decide what you want to put on here.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways to do this is, you've got them on the board and I've got them here. I've actually made each of the dies into a fridge magnet.
Oh.
So on the boards you've got, there actually are fridge magnets. So they've got magnetic sheet on the back. I'm just using the Crafts 2 self-adhesive one because it's really easy to use. But that way you can see what you're getting in sentiments, so you can try it out. So I'm going to use Sorry, which is from the Editions. Yeah. But I could work out, you know, I could go with anything else. So the best way to do this and lay it out is, I've got here another board with some magnetic sheet on it. I'm going to pop my card on, and I could use my Kaleido plate. And I'm going to go with one of the Southie squares. And this is one of the smaller ones. So you saw earlier when I did one of the larger ones, it punches out all the holes.
Yeah.
So you can actually see through them. So you see all those little holes there.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah. And again, now I'm thinking it, I keep thinking Regency on it. It's that sort of stitch work. With the smaller ones, what they actually do is just perforate the holes so it keeps the proportion.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, a hole that size on a square that size would look odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've thought it through. So I'm just going to place that down, and by putting it on a magnetic board, it holds it loosely in place.
Okay, perfect.
Which then I can go through, well, I said I wanted to try Sorry. Yes, that would fit.
Yeah.
Or I could put, I might want to go with Love.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, I can work it through. So I'm going to go with Sorry. So all I do is I've tried it out. I know that that one works. Yeah. So I then get the matching die and then just literally drop that in, and you'll see.
Ah, yeah, fits in there, just in there.
So, because what I actually did, I'll show you.
You could say, sorry, love.
Well, that's what I was just thinking then. So I'm going to take the little banner strip that's in the Southie squares. I called them squares even though one is a rectangle.
Okay, yeah.
But there was a bit of extra metal and you're paying for it, so you might as well have it. So this is 1 inch by 3 inches. And this will take this is the right width, you see, to take the dies.
Perfect, yeah.
So a lot of them will fit in. A lot of the actual things like mother, father will fit in so that you can get that. But when you do it that way, let's just get these bits out. Yeah, and this is strange. This, with the stencil sentiments, I'm going to say this, the best way to get the bits out, this is where the brush is the most handy. Because normally you'll always see me going in, but I've found that the brush is so good on these.
That's on end of gold, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. No.
I don't forget those bits, it's just what's useful. But I like to know with tools, you know, every tool has a specific job. And although you may not use one bit of it for something, there's always something it works for. So all I'm going to do now is just tape those down. So I do it normally on my Kaleido base because it's magnetised. But if you haven't got the Kaleido or a magnetised base,
and then,
just use a magnetic sheet. And now it's taped, it won't move, but it helps keep them in place.
Yeah. It helps it kind of plan it rather than...
It does, yeah, definitely, you're right. It helps you sort of plan out what you're doing without having to tape everything everywhere and go, I'm going to take that word out, it doesn't make sense, and it makes a mess. So we're just going to run that through. Make sure I've got
And
the
these-
sandwich right, yes.
These ones will work on. You have an extra plate.
I had an extra plate. Yeah, bless, I had a lady message me the other day to say that her mum had jammed her plates in.
Oh.
And it was a case of, I'm afraid it's a case of brute force and ignorance. She said, you have to get a soft mallet and bang them out from the other side, don't you, if you can't turn the handle back. We've all done it. That's how I knew the answer. But
have I done it?
I don't know. I've broken a plate by putting a sandwich in wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have broken a couple of plates, yeah.
Yeah, I used to break the raspberry plate constantly when I was embossing. But can you see you've got the dots, but they're not all revealed? Quite a few are left in place.
Yeah.
So I showed you this in the earlier show, but what you do is, instead of going like that, and again, you'll find the brush won't really get into all of them. Just take your pokey tool and ping it along.
Oh.
It's satisfying. It's one of those, you know, satisfying sounds and feels.
Yeah.
But it actually, if you notice, just pops.
And these ones are perfect if you like to do like some faux spirale. So you're going to put some thread, embroidery thread from corner to corner.
From corner to corner or around.
Yeah.
You can. Oh yeah, you could take it in a completely different direction. I'd forgotten about spirelli.
Well, I think this is more interesting because you could do like angles, and again, you know, in the British Museum, like yesterday, it was that, you know, the courtyard that has got that beautiful. So that could be the lines that you can create.
Oh, it could. You could really go to town, couldn't you, with it? So there we've got Sorry Love.
Sorry Love.
Yeah. So what I've done is, and this is the other reason that I made them all to an exact size. So obviously, if you've got, say, the press cut plain squares, they will match exactly because we do 1 inch. They're all on the inch measurements as well, and they'll mat and layer these perfectly, so they'll match with what you've got. But if not, it's really easy because that's 2 inches, so it's easy to cut a piece to match. And if you see there, I don't know if this comes across on screen and this is too light, all those dots have turned pink.
Let's see if Webster can get in.
There we go. But you can see, you can see there, even though it's so small, each one is pink. It's more obvious when it's on the card, so we'll just do it this way. And then, so a little bit of spray glue for speed, because I could spend hours gluing it down. So we'll put that on. So we've got the Sorry. So I'll grab a little bit of, now where have I put that?
Shall I do a quick recap while you have a rummage?
Just while I find my phone tape. It's downstairs.
Yeah, you say it as well. You see, some people make fun of me when I say I go downstairs. But anyway, let's move on to, of course, the complete collection.
Most people are taller than you and I, I'm afraid.
Yes, exactly. So it's farther for them to go down.
Yeah,
anyway,
exactly.
Let's move on. Approaching as how much half the stock of the complete collection has gone. If you want yours, you know what to do. Check out your baskets. 974249 is the item number for the complete collection. For the brand new Sentiments, Squares and Tartan complete collection. Make sure to check out your baskets. We are very busy, as always. We are, of course, when John brings a brand new collection. Remember, if you go for the complete collection, your actual saving is £13.60, which is actually when you are a Freedom member. Of course, you are not paying P&P either, and of course that means that you are not paying for the tartan die, which is worth £12.99. Right, now that is the complete collection, but we also have, of course, that very busy bundle. Now it's back on extended delivery. It will be dispatched on the 21st of May, which, if you're like me that kind of forgets which day of the year is, it's actually, of course, is on Friday, so it's only 2 days to go. Now, of course, it will be dispatched on the amazing card candy die that it allows you to create the perfect card candy, or also on a stencil or embellishments, but it comes also with buttons. $9.99 is the price for this bundle, but remember, it sold out earlier and it's now back on extended, and already 20% of the stock has gone. 22444 is the item number for this bundle. Right, back to John.
Right, so all I've done is put a little bit of foam tape on here.
Oh, perfect.
One of the reasons I used a square is, and I don't know if people notice, but if you actually look at a lot of my cards, you'll see an awful lot of them are wonky. I'm not good at putting things in the right place straight. And if you look there, I've got a piece of pink exactly the same size, but I've managed to not stick it on, so I've got a little bit of an edge showing. But every card I make is wonky, and it's one of the reasons I love the tartan, because you've got straight lines.
So it gives you a perfect
So I
position.
will struggle to get that wonky because I can put it on exactly to fill that square. And if you look, this square itself fills that middle one exactly.
Mathematically correct.
Mathematically correct. Again, it's me, I'm boring, I know.
No, you're accurate. It's not, there is no boredom in accuracy.
I just find it, I have to be, it's me.
No, it's the opposite. You know, it's like, I think it's the most necessary thing to be accurate.
To me it is entirely.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the love on.
Yeah.
But I don't want to waste any more card.
Right.
So what I've actually done is, this is an inch deep, this banner, yeah? But these are the strips that are ½ an inch that I used to make the tartan.
Right.
But you'll notice they actually fit over the letters.
So that is
So you
perfect.
don't have to waste. So I can actually accurately, I can leave all of those dots floating free.
Yep.
And a couple have stayed in place because I've spray glued it. But I can, so I've got, now I don't have the yellow around the outside. I just have the white with the yellow in the middle.
So it's
So you
floating.
see through, so I can just go over like that.
I love that so much.
And there we've got, I'll
Sorry,
turn it
love.
round. Sorry, love.
I love that. I love that because it's so, like, that could be something that somebody says all the time, and I love that. It's just unique, it's personalized, and then of course you can say sorry, you know, belated birthday,
Yeah.
you know.
Sorry on your belated birthday,
exactly.
or, you know, any combination that you want to, or you can say sorry, Mum, across it. You can actually, if it was me and I was a kid, I'd have had loads of these made.
Yeah.
And just basically in different colours, and just stick Mum on it and Gran on it, or Grandma or something on it every time I needed to hand one out, which would have been frequently, to be fair.
I absolutely love the way, the versatility of mixing and matching all those words. And of course, if you're going for the complete collection, you are getting the brand new release of this collection of stencil words. You are getting dad, father-in-law, so you uncle, grandfather, granddad, grandma, grandchild, grand. Also, you could use grand as a, you know, it's grand, you know, kind of element. You are getting great, you are getting cousin, retirement, graduation, good luck, sympathy, celebrate, birthday, get well soon, sorry with belated. You are a star, and I was thinking about as well things like you could say, so for instance, maybe sorry on your belated new home or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. You can mix them together. Yeah. You can sort of make whatever you want. I mean, there's things, you know, but again, you've got new and home, and you've got new and job. But don't forget, you can cut between new and home, so you've got home and new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although they're together in one strip, you can trim them out, so that you've actually got home. So you could put, you know, now your home, or, you know, you can play around. Once you've got them, you'll be able to see so much. So, you know what I mean? You could cut off star and have you're a granddad.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
you could have you're a father and do that as a shock thing to tell someone you're pregnant. You know.
Well, no, it was. Well, I mean, you could say it as not obviously not as a joke. That would be a little bit cruel, especially certain people that you know. But no, but you could say, you know, it could be really nice that to say, you know, surprise. Well, something like, I don't know, maybe good luck, grandfather, grandpa.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like. Revealing that you are going to be
exactly. There's so many combinations of these you can play with. That's why I say, you've got the boards there, but I've done it on mine. I would really recommend to do this first and cut some inch strips and cut them all in. And I've stuck mine onto basically double side. This is magnetic sheet, and these are the Crafts 2 self-adhesive ones, which made it a lot easier. But that's just on there with some black card, but you don't have to do it on magnetic sheets. You could just do them on black card, and it will let you lay them out betterly rather than trying to look through the die. So you can actually sit and play and work out what you can do. Yeah, and you know, there are so many, you know, you're a granddad, you know, you can trim off, you can do whatever you want and mix around with them. So again, like you said, we've got you're a star.
Yeah.
But what I'll actually do is I'm going to cut You're a Star, which comes from the Editions set. So we'll do this one. And there are others coming. So we have got Anniversary coming.
Oh, yeah.
We have got Christening and Babies coming.
Oh, fabulous.
And we have got things like Relationships coming.
Oh.
Yeah, but if there's anything else anyone thinks of, then let us know, either email the studio or message myself or Sam on the group. And we can actually, you know, we'll look at it. We can't do everything.
Absolutely.
Because some things would be, although I might use it.
Yeah.
I have been selfish. There is a vanity die in here. And it's You're a Star.
You're a Star. Well, I don't think it's I don't think, because I really love that. I think it's lots of people, and I actually think that one will work as well for memory albums.
Yes, yeah.
And the other thing I had, because of the size of it, like with the magnets, wouldn't it be lovely to have as fridge magnets, as a little present, with all a picture of parents, grandparents, and then with the grandparent.
So you could build a family tree on the fridge with them.
And that's also a way for the child to learn how to spell it.
To learn the words and how to spell and the person. That's a brilliant idea. There's so much you could do with this.
Absolutely.
There really is. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound quite so surprised there, but that is a brilliant idea.
No.
So I've got You're a Star here. I've stuck it on again a bit of thick because I've got the magnetic strips that I've cut down. Again, just an inch, that's it. Just cut inch-long strips. So I trim that off there to say You're a Star. But what I can do is cut bang in the middle of there, and there I've got Star.
Yeah.
But there I've got You're a. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, and the way that I've written the You're is grammatically correct, because it's you are.
You are, yeah.
So it would have the apostrophe there. I checked and checked and checked that, because it's not something I'm the best on. But then you could, you could put that, you're a dad.
You're a dad, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
you're a sister.
Or you are like without the A, you are grand.
Yeah. Or
you
could
grand,
actually take the little hyphen off the grand. You're grand. Or, like you said, you're special. Yeah? There's so many, so you don't just think of them in the strips, think of them of how else you can play with them.
Absolutely. Now, of course, if you are for the complete collection, not only you're getting all those words, but you also do get the squares, the Southern squares and the Tartan square in there. Now, remember that if your saving that is reflected in the screen, it doesn't quite reflect the full amount, because if you went for the one-day special, which is the bottom row of dies, now that would have a £3 saving. Now that carries forward to, of course, going for the complete collection. And if you are a £5 saving, now of course that £5 saving is, if you're a Freedom member, is even bigger. So that means that it's a 10%, so it's another £5.60, which actually you are paying, in fact, £13.60. That is the saving that you have as a Freedom member. I hope that's clear enough. Now, of course, you have got Flexi Freedom, which means that as a Freedom member today, all you would be paying is £25.18, which is of an amazing delivery price, isn't it? I think this is one of those toys that, and I rarely say that, and I'm very, very careful with the words. This is a die set that needs to be bought. Why? Because as car makers or as paper crafters, you might think, oh, I might need it once, but you will need it. It's one of those ones that you will go time and time again. If you make cars to sell, and I believe, of course, it has got full angel policy.
It's the usual John Next Door angel policy, which is the polite TV version, which is do what the heck you like.
Well,
because you've bought it, so it's yours.
It's yours. So if you want to make to sell, you can make as many, and of course that means that you can personalize all those cards. So when somebody says, well, I need to have a card, a birthday card with, belated, or congratulate my daughter-in-law for her job, for her new job, you have the dies there. It's not a specific die, it's the possibility of all those words that you are getting there. The best wishes on your retirement, mom on your birthday, it could be on your retirement, it could be on your new home, it could be best wishes on your home. There are so many possibilities. That is what is an amazing investment. This is not just for today, it's forever. Now, of course, it's a why not deal, which means that if you are not a Freedom member, it's worth to become a Freedom member because you will save more money by becoming one. It's £7.97, entitles you to free PMP on anything that you buy here at the craft store. And of course, then including in this bundle, because that extra saving, it means that you actually are saving £9.55, which of course it's more than the cost of 1 month of Freedom. I mean, that sounds like freedom here at the craft store. I don't know how much freedom is in the real world, you know. So like, well, that would be cheap. Anyway, all right, of course. Now, if we want to go for the button dies and the dies, now remember, very popular. It did sell out earlier. We managed to get some more stock. It will be dispatched from the 21st of May, which is Friday, so just today's time. $9.99 is the price. It gives you the whole, you know, the die that in one pass. So in one pass, it will die cut all those card candy. However, personally, I think this is extraordinary because not only for card candy, but creating the background, creating a stencil, and of course creating beautiful beautiful projects with that. And 40% of the extended delivery has gone. If you want yours, you can grab it by checking out those baskets. 224440 is your item number, $9.99 is your price. Massive saving there. Then we have the Periwinkle Die Set, and of course with the many gorgeous and once it's gone, it's gone. And of course, if you want it, please make sure to check out your baskets. Approaching 2/3 of the stock has gone. It's absolutely delightful. It's one of your most used, isn't it?
It is. The thing is with this, it's almost disappointing that it did so well, if that makes sense, yes. Because I really had to push to get them on this show. And I know there's so many different flowers that I can make with this, because you've got the little centre roll up as well, and there's full videos on YouTube. But some of the girls and the guys in the Crafting with John Next Door and Crafts 2 group have made so many different flowers with the periwinkle in just the sort of 6 weeks it's been out, that it is just amazing. I really do love it. It's becoming one of my favourites.
I can imagine, because the dimension you are getting, but also I love that is kind of the number of petals. Is it 6 petals that you have?
You've actually got 6 petals, and each petal has 2 slits cut in it.
Oh, yeah.
And that means you don't need any skill to make the flowers. Literally all you do is pinch the petal, but I am going to show that in the next demo. But it is so easy to do, genuinely.
Absolutely. Well, if you want the periwinkle kind of bundle in here with the mini twigs, £18.99 is your price. You are saving £3.930. 496 is your item number. Then we have, of course, the adhesive sheets in here. You are getting 20 of the A5 for $9.99, and this is the ones that are just like super strong, or like really strong, but easy to release
really strong,
as well.
Easy to lift, and literally the strongest that I've ever come across. I mean, that is hanging on your fingernail. I mean, yeah, virtually. That's literally hanging on nothing. That's how strong they are. They're so useful. And when it comes to, if you want to just put, I'll be doing it tomorrow, but if you want to just put, say, glitter behind the tartan, absolutely perfect for it, and sticking any of these layers down.
One of the other things that I love about this one is the fact that you have got the grit, so you can cut straight lines without worrying. Or
you could, and that side as well with the grid lines is actually matte, which means that if you can tape dies down to it, it's not shiny. So using our low tack tape, you can still stick dies to it. So you can get those in exactly the right place as well if you want to die cut it.
Absolutely. Now you're getting 20 of the A5, $9.99 is your price, 480, 981 is your item number. Now, of course, that is the double-sided, but we have also one of my favorite tools, because of course, this is an amazing bundle that we have here for you.
Did you get your plate back?
Yes, I did. Good. Yeah. I lent it to Charmaine for her show, and she was very good.
Because hers didn't arrive till the next day.
So I had an excuse to come all the way from my house to here, walking down. It was a really lovely stroll on a Sunday.
That, knowing you.
Yeah, it was a lovely stroll on a Sunday afternoon. Now, of course, if you want to go for this bundle, it's a phenomenal one. You are getting the press to impress, and of course, you get the perfect impression every time with the foam in there. And of course, you can use your red rubber as well. The 2 magnets in here, but you also get the replacements with the cases, which are very good.
They are, aren't they? The easy lift magnets make it so much easier.
Absolutely. And of course, you are getting, this is what I love, of course, that has got the plate in here with the rules. right? That's the rules, of course, not the rulers. And then, of course, that kind of is as metal, and of course you can put it inside it. And the best thing is that, of course, you have got even stencils that will fit perfectly on the press to impress, because that has been designed to perfection, so you can do those perfect apertures kind of elements into the stenciling element. And you're getting the case as well. All this bundle with a £6 saving, you can flexify, and today you could be paying just £27.47, or one-off payment of £54.94. 250978 is your item number. Now we have got tools, we have got dies, we have got adhesives, but we need more adhesives, don't we? Because we need those adhesives that are really strong wet glue. We have got the craft artist glue. I have to say, John did give me a bottle for my Miss P kind of prep, and I absolutely adore it.
It's so thick, isn't it?
It's so good. It's thick, and you know, grabs it immediately, and it doesn't wrinkle. This is one of the things that doesn't, you know, it's of course dry, it's clear, it's flexible. In my opinion, is one of those ones that you can use, and I mean,
you can use and abuse it.
Yes.
And the reason is we had more acrylic put in it. PVA glue is made with acrylic and water. I mean, everyone calls them all different names and all different things. They're all basically acrylic and water. And what we did with this when I tested it and worked with them on it, there's more acrylic in there than any glue I've used before, and less water, and it's the water that makes it wrinkle.
Absolutely, and it grabs it immediately. I love that instant grab. $9.99 is your price, 521794 is your item number. Now we have got also a 7-day saver from Walter Song, of course double-sided tape, you can see it there, and of course there are lots more on the website, so have a look at the craft store. Now of course there you will find all sorts of bargains, but of course the one day special and that complete collection makes it even, well, it's a fabulous deal, so do check out your baskets. But back to you, John.
Right, okay, so what I thought I would do is I want to show you, so we're going to do some sentiments, I'm going to do them in a different way, but I also wanted to show you how we can use, how the Southey squares, why it's important that they're mathematical.
Okay.
And I know that sounds weird, and I know I'm probably being boring people now, because we just like to make pretty things, don't we? We don't want to know about the maths, and all I'm trying to say is I've taken that into account. So what we've done is you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 inch squares.
Okay, yeah.
So what that actually means is that you can then patchwork with these absolutely perfectly, because of course two of the 2 inch fit within a 4 inch. Yeah, and of course 4 of the 1 inch fit within a 2 inch. And of course 3 of the 1 by 3 inch will fit in the 3 inch square.
Yeah, perfectly.
So you can really play around and patchwork with them. And it means that you can get some really stunning, to my mind, effects really, really simply. So what I've done here is I've just started, I never start this way.
Okay.
I've started with a card blank.
Oh. Yeah.
And this is a 6 inch square card blank. I always start in the middle and work out and then find a card to stick it onto or make one. But this way, if you like to work this way, it works really, really well. So of course, I've gone down with a 6 inch card blank and then I've matte and layered into it. So this, I believe, have I gone, do you know, I'm going to get my rule out and measure it.
And that's the thing with, that's the rule that is included, of course,
it
in
is,
the
yeah.
bundle.
So, because it goes from 0, so I know that's 6, no, it's 7 inch.
Ooh.
Well
that
done,
extra
John.
inch, yeah.
Yeah, it makes a
Sure,
difference. But so I've got a 7 inch card blank and I've gone down and put a 6 inch square in the middle of there. So, but you could do this with any size at all. And what I've actually done is I've cut.
Okay.
And again, it's boring to watch me cut things, so I thought I'd have this one prepped. I've cut the 3 inch square. So just check it. Yeah. Okay. So I've cut the 3 inch square twice in white and twice in pink.
Okay,
okay. Really, really simple, really easy to do. And again, what I'm going to do is for speed, sorry, not what am I doing? Honestly, you know, if I had a brain, I'd be dangerous sometimes.
Well, welcome. You would be in my world, in my galaxy, of not having a brain.
Yeah, so, yeah, when I'm crafting, I forget. I just enjoy it too much, to be honest.
Do you get into the flow and you kind of forget everything else?
I do at home, I'm told, use your words.
Oh.
Sam turns around to me a lot, and when I say, and he stop, use your words.
I think, yeah.
And I thought that is so clever because he actually stops me and says, because I get too excited. Right, I've got this idea and we could do it. And he'll go, stop, use your words. Right.
That sounds
So
like
I've got
me.
this idea, if we just take this, and it just slows me down. But we're all as bad, I know that.
I mean, I kind of, and even in Spain, they would used to, my university friends, they would say that I spoke not Spanish, not Catalan, but actually Pauli, which is my own language, because I would talk so fast and so excited and mixing Catalan and Spanish, and then of course I started mixing it into words with English when I started, you know, and then it was like you speak a whole different language to any of us. So
yeah, I don't know how you do it, to be honest with you. I mean, to actually work and speak in a language that's not the one you were brought up in must be. I know
everybody
from struggling myself, it's
I'm sure
not the easiest
if you
job.
had the circumstances I had, you know, I think that because for me, when I came here, I was living with somebody speaking in English all the time. However, he was international English speaker rather than English.
Yes, because English is a different language almost sometimes.
It is.
So what I've done is, I've just glued down a 3-inch square with foam in white, and then a 3-inch square in pink, and then pink here flat, and then the white again raised.
Okay.
Yeah. And what, if you notice, this is now exactly, this has gone onto a 6-inch square.
Perfect.
And I've used grey behind, so a little bit of grey shows through.
Love
so
that.
you almost don't notice it, but you can see there's grey on each one tying it together.
It's so elegant.
It's really, this is one of those cards, hey, that's right classy, that.
That classy.
Ah,
proper classy.
Proper classy. But what I'm going to do now is, so what I've done is then I've cut then the alternate in the 2-inch square.
Right.
So I've cut them 2 in white and 2 in pink.
Oh.
But can you see it gives you a completely different...
That's cool.
It really plays with your mind.
It does.
So all I'm going to do, and this is just using 2 dies from the set, and this is, you know, we don't look at some of these worker dies, and which is why I've started to add detail onto them, to think that they can do all the work we want them to. We don't need all the time to have a fancy background die.
Absolutely.
So
and there is something also like, yesterday we also went to a really nice fancy restaurant. It was so nice. And they had a very beautiful tile, black and white, you know, like a pattern. And I was thinking with those squares, you could also do black and white, almost like a chess kind of element as well.
Yeah, and you can sort of twist it out as well. I'm showing, I think tomorrow, there's a great one where you can actually do them in alternate corners to really make it twist. So all I'm doing is popping them against the card. So I'm not using any sort of massive maths or any sort of, you know, you don't need to know anything other than to cut 4 of them and 4 of them, because all of that side of it's been done for you.
And even the dots that now you are creating the pattern, like you can see it now. I mean, obviously you are going to cover them in the center, but they look so cool. Is this...
Well, what you can actually do is, if you like that, pop your squares there. So your squares don't actually have to go in the centre, creating a completely different pattern.
You know, our director said something, and at the beginning I thought, oh, he's gone a little bit crazy. But actually, he's right. You can actually spell love with the squares.
Yes, you can.
That's clever.
Very clever. But if you notice, that strip there is exactly the same size as that strip.
So then you could do a knee with that one.
Yeah, but you could fit that in and go for a different colour there and a different... So they all work together. That's why, to me, it's simple. That's why I always witter on about mathematically correct. But that's the work done for you. So we've got now there quite a nice, basic, classic card. So to me, this sort of says the sort of card that we don't like to send.
Yes.
Yeah, which is the sympathy card. So...
They are the ones that we don't like to send, but also they are the ones that will mean the most.
They do mean the most. Yeah, they genuinely do. I think that's a really important point.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to the occasions, and I'm going to grab sympathy, and I'm going to grab the width from the additions.
Oh.
And again, the reason I've done the additions as a separate set is so that you can choose the additions and You might want to say, oh, well, I want the editions and say the anniversary or the original set when that comes out, you know, when those come out.
Absolutely.
Or you may say, I just want the editions and that.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you'd have to buy every set to get every word. So I've got With and Sympathy here. So I'm going to cut them into black because I've matted this on black.
Okay.
And all I'm going to do is, now these have been cut to the width of the actual stent dies themselves. Now, off the top of my head, I did know exactly what that was.
That looks like...
And it's just, I think it's 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, that looks about 3/4, yeah?
It is 3/4 of an inch.
You are that accurate.
I'm
Mathematically correct.
I'm just boring with it, to be honest.
No, I think that's the way to be, because then, you know, like I know how a crafter, some crafters, you know, don't know about numbers. They don't look at numbers.
I'd like people not to have to care about them, because I've done that side for you.
Exactly, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it if somebody else has thought about them. That's the thing.
Yeah, and it makes it easier for me, because we were having this whole discussion when I was doing my live last night, in that I was taught Imperial at school. Okay, metric didn't exist. I was taught metric at school. Yeah. Imperial didn't exist. We were told nothing about inches or anything. So only when I started card making, I found that everything seemed to be in inches. So I kind of had to teach myself those.
I mean, the fact that, like, for a Spanish person, I know that. I mean, when I came to this country, which is going to be 19 years in the 19th of July, no, it was literally, I didn't even know that inches existed, let alone fractions of an inch. And the fact that you have to say, you know, 3/4 of an inch rather than...
Yeah, or 7/8 and all of the, and base 12, I've no idea, I couldn't work any of that. But I know that what works for me is sort of giving things in 1/4 and 1/8 of an inch lists. So what I'm going to do is, I've cut a strip again in white this time. Just move that up. And I'm just going to go the sympathy on white. And if you notice, I put the sympathy at one end, and I put the width, I was supposed to put the width at the other end. Okay. Which I haven't. So I'm going to recut it because I'm an idiot.
No, you're not an idiot.
So I'm going to put that. But that's great, because that bit I can use for something else. So really simple.
That's the thing, you haven't wasted, but you can use it.
Well, if you get it wrong, you've wasted 3/4 of an inch strip of about 1.5 inches across card. That's it. And you can use that somewhere else. Keep a box of them. Yeah. So here's the width. Get those bits out again. I would use the glue glaze at home, but a little bit of spray glue because it's speedier for the show. And what I also made sure, and this shows me being lazy, I also made sure that the dies were wide enough so that you wouldn't have to cut down tape.
Because there is nothing worse than having to
cut a piece of foam tape and cut down the side of it and things.
I mean, that is, I think, that's when those moments when you're thinking, I
won't ever do this again.
No, absolutely. No. Life isn't, you know, for that.
So all I'm going to do is, and I'm actually going to use the edge of the square as my guide to get it straight, because I'm not great at that. So there's my width. Okay. And there's my sympathy. Yeah. And I'm using the squares to get it straight. So straight away, I can just turn that over, chop off the excess, but that's all completely straight, and it's so rare for me to get a straight card.
Well, you know what, I just love this card. I love the simplicity, the elegance, the kind of, it has got a very striking lines.
Yeah. It's clean and simple, and that's what you want. You just want to get your message across on that occasion. Absolutely. So for speed, I've already cut my flowers because I know we're going to run out of time. Yeah, absolutely. So all I've done is, you see with the periwinkle, I'm just taking a finger dauber and some VersaFine, which I find is the easiest for black, and just touching in the air the edge of the petal. Yeah. Don't do it flat, you get too much ink on. Hold it in the air and run your finger dauber over.
Just a gentle edging.
Yeah, it's why I don't use the brush for this. I always use a finger dauber, because a brush would go too far, because it's get the right tool for the right job makes all the difference. But as I was saying earlier, if you notice, each petal, even the small ones, has 2 slits in it.
So you can Squeeze it.
So what you do is you just squeeze it and it will fold on those two lines. So you can shape that flower with no skill. Yeah, we've gone from that to that just by pinching.
Yeah.
And it's simple as that. So you don't need the skill. I hold it between finger and thumb and just pinch the edges together. And that will just make it fold on those two cut lines. And that's why they're cut lines and not deboss lines.
That's it.
If it didn't cut through, it wouldn't work. So we would just offset those and glue them together. Yeah. And then I'm going to glue glaze for speed and because they'll grab quickly.
Yeah. And the glaze is also included in the bundle.
In the glue bundle, yeah, because to me it's the essential. If you're going to get into the craft artist glues, and I would recommend you do,
absolutely,
then you want to have you want a couple of bottles of the PVA, which will last you a really long time. I mean, I even I water it down with water to make my own decoupage glue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's that strong in acrylic that if you add half glue, half water, it works as a decoupage glue for furniture and everything like that.
Oh, you
and
know,
for your rice papers and things.
I was thinking, one of my favorite techniques is, you know, with the die cut. Oh, look at that.
So what I'll do is I'll just put this up, and I know the flowers will stay because I've used glue glaze. But there we've got a really simple, clean with sympathy card.
I love that.
And to be honest, I would never buy a stamp set that would just said with sympathy.
No, because...
But because it's included in here, it's only 2 of the selection.
Yeah, and of course you have got with sympathy, but you also have got, like, for instance, I would never buy son and daughter-in-law.
No.
I mean, because, you know, or you...
How often would you use it?
Absolutely. Well, personally.
Well, yeah. But, you know, for a lot of people, you wouldn't use it that often. But the fact is you've got daughter and then you've got in-law.
Absolutely.
So you can do daughter-in-law, son-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-law. You can use it so many times. And I just think dies like this are so much easier to lay out.
Absolutely.
You would never buy a mother-in-law stamp.
I wouldn't, no.
But you can easily, you wouldn't believe that's the same die but a different word in the front with mother.
Absolutely. Aunt and uncle, celebrate. Absolutely. Right, now we have got seconds to go. We have got a very busy show. Please make sure to check out your baskets. Of course, John will be back at 8 and 12 tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now stay tuned for more here at the craft store. Funky Fossils next with myself.